So I don't want to make this video. I really, really don't. I've been trying to figure out a way to approach it, and every time I do, there are so many things I want to say that I don't want to make this video. It would be crazy long. I would be jumping from subject to subject, and honestly, I'm just going to tell you a story instead. That's what we do on this channel. We talk about great stories and impactful stories. So I'm going to tell you a true story about a family member of mine who is well beyond retiring age. She is a hard worker. She's a widow. She is a fantastic person, all around hardworking, donates time, donates money to charities. She pays for, she puts money towards her local public radio. So this is a person who is dedicated to their community, and also a person who was not born here. Now, it may sound a little odd that I'm starting off with that, but I'm going to tell you this. Her parents were American citizens. Her father was in the military, and they were stationed in all of places. I swear this is true. Scotland, when she was born. And when she came home, they had a little bit of an issue getting her citizenship in order, even though her parents were both citizens and she just happened to be born in a hospital in another country. And I believe a good portion of the reason that they had trouble getting her citizenship in order is because she was not born on the military bases hospital. She was born in one of Scotland's hospitals. So, at any rate, her parents went through a lot to get her citizenship in order, and she's grew up here, again, went to school, got married. She is a family person and a very, contributing member of society. When the first election that put Trump in office was up, she came to me very worried. We have very different views politically, but she often will come and ask me why. Why do they say this, Katie? Why do they feel this way, Katie? Because I don't get mad at her for asking a question that is completely the opposite of how I would feel. I talk to her and she listens. So we have good conversations, even though we have very different views. But when he was elected, she came and said he really wants to deport people. Am I in trouble? And at the time, my answer was no, 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 no. His big problem, and say what you will, but my view on this isn't people who look like you. And she is an exceedingly Caucasian female. But so I said, I really don't think so. I don't think you'll have any problems. So don't worry about it. When he was elected the second time, we had a different conversation. But the first thing I had said to her was make sure all of your paperwork is in order. Everything that proves that you're allowed to be here. And she says, I have it all. I have everything. I said, every court order, every judgment, your original birth certificate, your social security card, everything. Every single, I've got it, Katie, don't worry about it. And that was the last I'd really talked to her about it. I know how she voted. She knows how she voted. I decided that I couldn't cut off the family members who voted differently than I am, despite a lot of people doing that, simply because they're elderly. And if we cut them off, they kind of lose their care. And while I don't condone some of the choices that they've made, I also don't condone my, I guess, what would eventually be murder because I'm not taking care of my family. And this one in particular, because again, she'll ask questions. She'll ask questions. She'll listen to my answers. We'll have a conversation about it. And oftentimes she changes her mind after we're done talking about it. This time, she came to me and she says, I don't agree with what's going on, Katie. I didn't know he felt that way. And again, she's an older woman. She says, about those LGBT people. She means LGBTQ. But she's trying. And I correct her and she says, oh, okay. But she's very concerned with how he is treating people who are not straight cis males. She's seeing a bit of how things are affecting women. She is, again, well beyond retirement age. Up until about 3 years ago, she was still working 2 jobs. She's in her 70s. She's got it whittled down to one, because she needs to pay bills. And as much as I've tried to explain to her that a lot of the things that she needs to live off of would be allowed if we voted a little differently from time to time, she's very much a staunch believer that things are going as well as they possibly could because the people she votes for really care about her. She's come to see that that's probably not true, but again, a little too late right now. I told her that I felt very bad because I don't think I spoke up enough. I don't think I spoke up enough to her, to other family members, to the worries. In all honesty, because I figured they would be ignored. My thoughts, my concerns, not because they ignore me, but because they really truly believe that the person in office currently has their best in mind, their health in mind, their future in mind, their ability to buy an egg in mind. And I think that I feel exceedingly guilty because I didn't tell them how wrong they were at every turn. But I know very much that several of them would have completely ignored me and explained to me how wrong I am. So that's all right. I don't mind being told I'm wrong if I'm actually wrong. They, in general, my family on that side have explained to me that my concerns when I did bring them up were silly. Project 25 was never going to be implemented. He's never going to just en masse eject people from this country. The crazy things that have come up so quickly in this administration, it's difficult to discount them, which again is part of the reason why making this video is something I'm not looking forward to. Anything that I have to say, 5 minutes later, there's more added to it. My concerns are for women's health and women's choices.
And NASA wasted no time complying with the president's orders. We checked their website just about 3 hours ago, and the agency's diversity, equity, and inclusion page no longer exists.
Big changes on the Pentagon's website. Articles about 9/11, the Holocaust, sexual assault, and suicide prevention all appear to have been purged.
If a person who was born and identified as a male at birth is not actually a male and they self-identify as female, that it doesn't affect you at all. Not in the slightest. If they're in front of you in the grocery store with a shopping cart, their vegetables are not more important than yours or better. They're the same as yours, and that's all they wanted, was to be the same. If the people in front of them are two husbands who are buying milk, their milk isn't better than yours. It's the same milk. They just wanted to be able to buy the same milk and not get beaten out of the grocery store for being there. These things irritate me. One of the things that really, really upset me are the let's identify people as only men, only women, and only as they've been identified at birth.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
If you have any understanding of biology and how that works, you can make that law all you want. But evolution and Mother Nature, not gonna listen. There are many, many variations on gender. How you self-identify yourself. Guess what? My mom identifies me as a brunette. She wrong. I may be brunette at birth, but hey, what color do you think my hair is? And it took her about 5 years to go, you know what? That hair color doesn't look too bad on you. Great. Now I have purple hair. Who you are is who you are. It's not who someone else tells you you are.
Worker.
At least it shouldn't be in this country. The country that I grew up with Schoolhouse Rock and other silly cartoons and Saturday to teach me, basics of government and economics and how life would work as an adult, called my country a melting pot. It's what it's known for. And apparently we don't want to be melting too much anymore. It's like evil and bad, and it makes me upset and angry, and it makes my 9-year-old upset and angry. She cannot understand why people are getting angry because two people who love each other are married. And it's bad. She does not understand that. Why? Because I raised her to think that love between adults is up to them. It's that simple. And she can't understand why it's a problem. She grew up going to Pride Days. She doesn't think that all men wear skirts, but she thinks that if somebody feels more comfortable in a skirt or self identifies as a female, then they should be allowed to, because no one should tell her who she has to be. Why should anybody else tell anybody else who they need to be? I'm very angry and very afraid of what my country is turning into. I used to have a lot of pride in what it was trying to grow into. I am embarrassed that the popular vote went to somebody who doesn't like our country. Seriously, his problem is women. His problem is anyone with color. And to prove that we're wrong about that assessment, he does ridiculous things like take a picture of him eating a taco salad on Cinco de Mayo to prove that he is all for equality, especially between the Hispanics and himself. Going to Taco Bell and getting a taco salad does not make you a fighter of equality. It makes you hungry and willing to eat a yummy salad, because I enjoy a good taco salad myself, but I eat it on days other than Cinco de Mayo. If you're thinking I'm not being eloquent about this, you're absolutely right. It's not what I'm here to chat about. It really isn't. But somebody said to me, it's my platform. Why aren't I using it for something more? This is why. Again, I'm not going to be eloquent about it, but I'm going to tell you that if you don't agree with the changes being made to this country and changing it away from being the United States of America and into some, hate to even say it because it sounds like it's trying to be clickbait or cause issue, but it's becoming fascist. He's not listening to the Supreme Court anymore. The Supreme Court gives him a ruling and he does what he wants. He is not listening to the rule of law or the Constitution. He's not even attempting to make smart choices in these cuts. My husband and I, at least once a week, discuss what it would be like to move to Canada. I don't know if Canada would want me, but I do know that my daughter is who I'm concerned with. My daughter, who loves math, loves science, loves art, loves electronics and engineering. And in a time when we are doing the worst things to information right now about folks who are gay, to folks who are females in science, to just people who don't happen to be white, who don't happen to be male. Things are being cut out of searches on government sites such as women in science and history, African American science history. Well, anybody who's not white in science and history, they're being cut down. They're not all gone, but they're being removed. I believe the new one is anything referencing the Holocaust is being removed, because apparently it didn't happen. My very Jewish family on my dad's side would probably disagree as much as I do. As a load of horsepucky. Yeah, I said horsepucky. I'm pretending that I'm very old today. I honestly don't know what I can accomplish from this little chat, other than to voice my concern, voice my love of this country, of what it is supposed to be. Remember, it's supposed to be a great experiment. It's up to us to make it the best it can be or the worst. I told my family member that I started this out with that if she was very concerned about who was in office, that the best thing she could do is, one, voice it, say it, spread it, let other people know that it's upsetting even to her. And I say even to her, not because she's not intelligent, but because she, again, is on the other side of the aisle. In 2 years, when we have voted for representation, to do something I know she doesn't want to do, but to try not to vote for a Republican, because right now we can't trust that they're going to keep any kind of promise to stand up to Trump and stop him from making any of these awful decisions. The only other thing that I can think of that we can do is annoy the heck out of our current representatives. Call them. Call them incessantly. Go to their houses and picket. Outside, not cause any damage. Protesting is allowed. But we need to at least try to make sure we're heard. And since I do have this small platform, I am trying to make my voice heard, my concern, my worry. I have a granddaughter. I have two grandsons who I don't know what's going to happen to their future either. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen to any of our children, any of our grandkids? We know that their education is going to be vastly different if if things go the way they've been going. Now, another thing, I'm going to switch like gears here and talk about Elon for a moment. I'm enjoying all of the things happening to Tesla right now. I don't think that violence or destruction of property is good, and I wish there were better ways to get to him as well. But not purchasing anything made by his company, not investing in his company, very good start. We have a foreign agent in our government right now taking over your personal information and deciding if you should get care on many levels. I know a lot of my viewers here on a regular basis are of the age of receiving Social Security, of receiving Medicaid, of receiving assistance of some kind from the government to live day to day. That dude is making the decision on whether you deserve to live. Do you trust that? You need to voice it. You need to voice what you feel. And if I'm wrong and you're like, no, this is the very best. I want to, at any moment, stop receiving Social Security. Heard a good story the other day, a true story, not my family member, but of a gentleman who stopped receiving Medicaid, or stopped receiving Social Security, I should say, and then had $5,000 and a little more than that withdrawn from his account to make up for all of the payments he's received while he's been dead. He was very surprised by this and wrote Social Security to let them know he's not dead. Or he called them, but those phone lines not being paid for and manned as well didn't work. Went down to the office and basically had to cut in line to get somebody to understand that he is not dead. I could try to explain to you why some of these ridiculous accusations of people getting Social Security who are dead, and I'm sure there's one or two, I'm sure it happens. It happens from time to time. It is not millions. This mistake by Elon when he announced it is because he couldn't read a freaking data sheet. He couldn't read a database. Smartest dude in the world, right? Supposed to be a super genius. Can't read a database I taught myself to read in my 20s without any education. So yeah, that's my rant. That's what I have to say. There's too many things that he's done that I don't agree with for me to make a coherent, this is what it's all about video. But I'm going to tell you right now that there isn't a decision that Trump has made that is doing anything positive to this country. The tariffs, the inequality, the cutoff of DEI, that's hurt more white women than anybody else. It's unsafe to fly now. I think that my husband literally changed my plans for me to go to Vegas to make sure that he was driving me there because he's afraid we'll explode and die. So, yeah. Let's all feel free to comment below. Tell me I'm wrong. Unsubscribe. I don't know what else to say. Maybe I'll have a more coherent video later. But, yeah, I have to say something, and this is it. We can do better, guys. We can do so much better. We can actually put our hope in a woman, maybe, even though she's not the same hue as us. It's an exceedingly depressing day to me to see that people would rather watch education be cut, Medicaid be cut, Social Security cut, folks who need help to not get it anymore, rather than have a black woman in office. So disappointed when that happened. Anyway. How are your egg prices where you are? Let me know below. I have 2 eggs left in my refrigerator from a dozen that we bought about 2.5 weeks ago. So they're going to have to go and I'm going to replace them. Yeah, we use them sparingly. Prices haven't gotten better. You notice chips and snacks have gone up a lot too? Anyway, guys, take care. Speak up. I love you all. Even if we have different opinions on things, we can do better than this.
We're going to elect a president.
No more kings.
He's going to do what the people want.
No more kings.
We're going to run things our way.
No more kings. Nobody's going to tell us what to do.